Week from now, the primary in the state of Minnesota, and we've been having a series of conversations with candidates for both the U.S. Senate race and for the governor's race. We've invited every candidate that's polling 5% or higher in those races for a 10-minute conversation to learn more about them, where they stand on the issues. And today, joining us is Kendall Qualls, the GOP-endorsed candidate for governor. Thanks for coming in today.
Well, thank you, Rob.
So let's begin with, your history here, and not only your biography, Army,
Yep.
Field Artillery.
That's right.
Army,
That's right.
and then in business, in healthcare, medical technology.
Correct.
Et cetera. You ran for Congress in 2020. You lost the general to Dean Phillips. You decided to run again then in 2022, this time for governor, withdrew.
Right.
Why have you decided to run now a third time?
Well, when I ran for governor in 2022, number one, I confirmed I would abide by the endorsing convention and supported Scott Jensen. And when we lost everything, that was a deafening time for Republicans. And many of them felt we had the wrong guy at the top of the ticket. We had number two was me.
Yeah.
And they said maybe we had the wrong guy. This time around, there's a lot of energy for me running again. And at the end of the day, when we have lost the governor's race for 20 years with the same profile of candidates, there was a strong desire by the delegates across the state that we need someone outside of traditional politics, someone from the business community with strong leadership.
Okay.
And I won that bill.
We'll talk more about that approach, being outside of politics, coming in here in a moment. You got the endorsement. Mike Lindell, Lisa Damoth running. She had initially said she would abide by it, then said she wouldn't because of some questions about maybe the endorsement process. How do you feel about those two running against you and not abiding by the endorsement?
Yeah, first of all, Mike said he wouldn't abide by it. So, he's not doing anything different from what he said. Nice guy, but we need someone that can win in the general election. Unfortunate that Lisa Damoth took back her word. There were actually opportunities with Republican brokers after that convention to unite the party. My running mate was willing to make room on the ticket for her to be the number two.
Okay.
And she refused. So, again, this is another reason why a lot of delegates, a lot of Republicans are looking for someone outside of politics, because we need to look at serving the state. How do we get our state back and not look at our own personal political ambitions?
Okay.
That's why they nominated me.
Now, in the polling, the most recent poll, a Survey USA poll, Mike Lindell polling at 35%, Lisa Damoth at 26%, and you at 11%. 22%, 22.5% are listed as don't know.
Right.
In an interview with the Minnesota Reformer, you called that poll not real.
Right.
Why?
Well, again, we have to take a look at the history of this. So the question for us, as citizens, as Americans, as Minnesotans, why do we keep looking at these polls? Because of the last few polls that we've seen nationally and locally, we should have had Hillary Clinton as president, Kamala Harris as president, and two-term Governor Tim Pawlenty should have won in 2018.
Based on polling,
based on the polling data. They were all wrong, and they've been wrong for years.
Why do you say this one is that wrong? You said that based on your own feelings and in conversations, that you believe you are on top.
Rob, this is more than just feelings.
Okay.
Look, I've been in the business world for 30 years. Market research, marketing, having my pulse on the finger of the market, based on data and based on evidence. We are much closer than that 11% than most people know. So, at the end of the day, we can only wait and see until Tuesday. But you and I tell you what, let's bet on it. Let's have a beer if you want. They'll just say, you know what, he was right.
So you believe 1 week from now, the primary results will be vastly different from what these polling numbers say?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Look, people were counting us out from the very beginning when we got in. He's not going to have enough money. We raised over $1 million. He's not going to win in the convention. We've been defying the conventional wisdom from the very beginning.
Okay. Getting back to the point you were talking about earlier, and you've made this point on the campaign trail, is that you believe it is time for an outsider. that too many candidates have come from within, from the legislature, et cetera, for the governor's office. Is somebody that comes in from the outside, though, with no political experience, how do you then meld that? How do you say that I can do better than people who've been in this system and know how things work?
Well, first of all, we got to remember who we are as Americans, okay? No one was born a politician and they go into that field. I'm going to major in politics and become a lifelong politician, right? And if evidence of experience was the marker, by God, I don't want that kind of experience. When we have $9 billion of fraud, when we look at the household income in the state of Minnesota, now this is based on the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce, over the past 10 years, our household income is number 46 out of 50. To buy a home in the state of Minnesota, okay, let's say you're just starting out, you're in your 30s, you buy a home here, 3,200 square feet, it's $40,000 more here than the neighboring state of Wisconsin. These are local issues, state issues, and if experience in politics is what's needed, I don't want that level of experience, and neither does most Minnesotans.
We had a question from a viewer, that gets into your area of expertise, I would think. I think, Ryan, can we bring that up now? This is from Tom in Minneapolis. Your plans about rising health insurance premiums. He says, there was a time when I was paying $75 a month. Now I'm paying $900 a month. How would you approach the high cost of health care?
Well, first of all, let's get the framework here. Let's set the table. If you remember 15 years ago, Democrats promised, the government promised, if we just get the Affordable Care Act, if you pass this, everyone have insurance, it'll be much cheaper, the quality will be the same, even better. Just trust us, vote for the Affordable Care Act. Well, Americans did that. And 15 years later, the Affordable Care Act is no longer affordable. It is everything that this gentleman just brought up. We need to look at market opportunity forces, and I'll give you a quick analogy. LASIK surgery was never covered by insurance. When it first came out, it was nearly $10,000 to do that surgery. Today, it's less than half of that. The technology's improved, the quality's improved. There's much more, I would say, users, facilities that are actually facilitating those things. Those are market forces that where healthcare, LASIK surgery, has come down where no other treatment in healthcare has.
So how do you change that?
Market-driven forces. We'll do a carve-out. We're going to do a waiver, and we're going to get back to what we had before Obamacare to Mensure and have more of a market-driven, patient-direct access to their physicians, where Minnesotans can opt into it rather than their current plan that they have today.
How difficult is that, though? That is a huge hill to climb.
You know what? Things are much easier. We're going to bring in some solutions that are much easier than what the government has brought into our state that makes everything more expensive than we have. And that's, you can take healthcare, you can even take child care, where young people are actually paying almost $1,000 for child care every month. We never used to have that until we had government intervention to help, in quotes, help us. We didn't used to have this stuff before.
Okay. There has been some issues raised or concerns raised about your choices as running mate and his presence on January 6th at the U.S. Capitol. How have you responded to that? I mean, obviously, that's going to be a very polarizing issue among primary voters.
Well, I don't believe so. So first of all, he attended that rally when things got a little hairy. He and his friend got out of there, bugged out. There was no issues there whatsoever. People are attending rallies almost every weekend in our state. These No King rallies. That is our First Amendment right. Those are our rights as citizens. Again, he was never charged and never accused of doing anything violent. You know, these are distractors more than anything else. Brian has been a successful businessman in our state. I stand behind him now. I double down on him. He was held as an example of what good small business looks like in Minnesota before he got involved in politics. This is unfortunate. When you take the step and be brave and wants to help our state, you get involved in politics, immediately he's targeted.
Okay. We are down to our last 30 seconds or so. So I've been asking people to finish up by just making the final sales pitch here. And completing the sentence, I want to be the next governor of the state of Minnesota because.
You know, because our state is a wonderful state. We have seen much better days. I can tell you there's a lot of people that are almost embarrassed to say where they're from when they go outside the state. We want to bring pride back, a sense of purpose and a unity back to our state that we haven't seen in decades. And that's what I want to help do.
Okay. Kendall Qualls, the GOP-endorsed candidate for governor in Minnesota, 1 week from the Minnesota primary.
Right.
And, you know, we'll can wager that beer. Well, I'm not going to take a wager, but I mean, that's what you were saying, is that you believe people will be shocked.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks for coming in.
Glad to be
Appreciate
here.
the time.
Thank you, Rob.
Good to talk to you.
Thank you.